Boys, girls, and everyone else, welcome back to another Destiny Rising video. Tomorrow is Season 2 update, and in today's video, I want to talk about, should you invest in Maru? Is she a pull or a pass? Pretty straightforward question. In fact, I think it's a question that a lot of people are going to be asking, thus the video. So let's discuss. Let's jump straight into it now. Some of the sponsored content creators or the content creators part of the content creator program for Destiny Rising were able to get early access. Agent was one of them, and I consider him a good friend and acquaintance. So we are not going to watch his video, but we're just going to jump around to different parts because I would just encourage you to watch his video. Again, he got the early access, so go ahead and look at his video. We are just going to be using sort of snippets of his video to digress and go into the context of my question in my video. So again, looking at the overall sort of what she does, her passive is dealing or absorbing damage while abilities provides resonance with it, enhances all of Maru's abilities. So essentially, if you are dealing or absorbing damage, you will then get resonance, which is a little bar at the bottom that you're going to see that grows. Okay, now if we go forward a little bit and look at the first one, which is signature 2, a vortex barrier forms at the collapsed cannon muzzle, engulfing bullets and explosive energy with the absorbed energy, being converted into an overshield. So basically, you can use a shield to absorb energy and bullets, and then you can use your other ability, which will also charge your resonance as well as your other ability. So if we look at the other ability, maybe we already did it right here, which is Annihilation Blast. Fires a cannonball that flies up to 40 meters and explodes upon collision or reaching its max range, dealing 3,700 void damage to targets within a 6-meter radius and inflicting knockback. Maru is also subject to be Maru will also be subject to knockback if she is within the blast range. Resonance significantly affects the cannonball's damage, increasing it by up to 100% when with full resonance. So basically, the typical idea here is that you're going to charge up her resonance with the shield and then do a blast. Is essentially her toolkit, and then her ultimate is like a more or less just a full blast of damage. Moving on to... this is her ultimate, or her super. Enters the super state and shoots out a barrage of energy projectiles from the collapsing cannon. The projectiles explode upon collision or after traveling at the maximum of 30 meters, dealing 1,369 void damage to targets within a 3-meter radius. Again, you can get additional damage from your resonance being full. Okay. Moving on, this is her super again. All right, so this is the weapon mastery. So when resonance is at 50% or higher, light and heavy grenade launcher shots will produce 3 void element split shells, each dealing 222 void damage to combatants within a 4-meter radius. And then it continues just to get stronger, right? Pretty darn good, not gonna lie. All right, so the first relic trait here is the barrier generates by Abyssal Engulf will recharge Annihilation Blast when it absorbs damage. Again, shield is now absorbing bullets and energy in order to recharge your Annihilation Blast, which is a pretty sick toolkit. Going on to number 2, defeating the target with Blight Volley refunds up to 100% super energy depending on the target base combatant. 10% base combatants, 10% elite combatants, 20%, powerful and stronger combatants, 30%. And that was all 3 of them. So again, I think that this is a really good toolkit. Now, the biggest thing to note here is that she's obviously going to be light grenade launcher and heavy or regular grenade launcher. She's void and offensive. She has a pretty awesome toolkit in terms of damage. However, here's the caveat. She has 0 movement ability, so I think that's going to be a really big downfall for her. And I think this is going to be something that it's going to deter people away from her because a lot of the in-game content is focused around how fast you can do it. So while that she's going to be really, really good when it comes to spread damage and doing things that are spread like Shinkas, that's going to be fantastic. But you're not going to want to have, let's say, like a full team of Marus. You're maybe going to want one, and there's so many different ways of taking down a spread Shinka that I don't even know if she's going to do that well enough. And so then if she isn't even doing her main toolkit well enough, is she going to be viable in some of these in-game activities? Personally, I think the answer is no. I think that she looks a little underwhelming. Again, some of the other content creators did get to play with her a little early and got not all relic abilities to be able to play with, but there is some, and I would highly encourage you guys to go watch their videos. But again, I think for me personally, I think she's a strong pass. I think there's too much on the horizon in Destiny Rising for us to fully lean in and commit to Maru. Again, spread is such a specific thing, and she only does spread. And with 0 movement ability, because there's no endgame that has anything outside of movement speed related, I think she's just an easy pass. So to me, to answer the question, should you pull or pass on Maru? To me, it's a pass. But let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Hope to see you guys in the video soon. Again, tomorrow's the big update. Hope to see you guys there. See you later. Bye.